So, does it ever feel like your sales engine is just stuck? No matter how much you invest, no matter who you hire, you just can't seem to get traction. Well, here's the thing. You're probably not looking at a sales problem at all. You're looking at a sequencing problem. And today, we're going to give you the diagnostic tools to find the real root cause and, more importantly, to fix it. All right, let's start with a little reality check. If you're in the C-suite, you know this conversation. You're looking at the numbers, they're not where they need to be, and all eyes turn to the sales department. And then you start hearing these phrases on repeat. Maybe you're even the one saying them. We need to fix the pipeline. We need a real professional sales playbook. And the big one, we just need to hire a rockstar VP of sales. Look, if this is your internal monologue right now, you are definitely not alone. But what we're going to show you is that these are almost always symptoms of a much, much deeper issue. And here it is, the core idea for today. The problem isn't your sales execution, it's not your team, and it's probably not even your sales methodology. The real issue is that you're doing things in the wrong order. You're essentially trying to build the roof of the house before you've even poured the foundation. Now, this happens because of a really powerful force we call downstream gravity. It's this natural, almost irresistible pull toward the stuff you can see, the flurry of sales calls, the demos, the proposals. It feels productive, right? It looks like progress. But if that foundational work is missing, all that activity is just motion. It's spinning your wheels, generating noise, but not real results. So how do we fight this? We need a framework. Just think of it as 3 layers of readiness that you absolutely have to build in the right sequence. First up is layer 1, market clarity. This is about knowing with absolute precision who you're selling to and why they should care. Then comes layer 2, validation. This means you have cold, hard proof that your solution actually delivers on its promise. And only then, once those 2 are solid, do you get to layer 3, the commercial engine. That's your sales team, your pipeline, your playbook, the whole machine. Okay, so what are the red flags that you've got a sequencing problem? Well, here's the first big one. Your pitch is a moving target. You might call it being agile or consultative selling, but let's be honest. If your team is telling a fundamentally different story to every single prospect, it's a giant warning sign that your core value prop and who you're selling to are not actually figured out. So here's your diagnostic question for that layer 1 problem. Just ask yourself honestly, is your ideal customer profile, your ICP, so crystal clear that a brand new hire could use it to find the right accounts? If the answer is no, or even a hesitant maybe, then no sales methodology on earth is going to fix that. All right, next up, the founder magic problem. You know this one. Deals only seem to close when you, the founder, are in the room. Your passion, your credibility, your charisma, that's what's getting it over the line. But that doesn't scale. And while it looks like a sales conversion problem, it's actually an evidence problem. And check this out, because the data here is pretty stunning. Research shows that over half of lost B2B deals aren't lost to a competitor. They're lost because the customer just decides to do nothing. Why? Because there are information gaps. There's uncertainty about the outcome. They simply lack the hard evidence to feel confident in making a choice, especially when you're not there to fill in those gaps with your story. And that leads us to the key diagnostic question for layer 2. Have you actually translated those early wins into documented, compelling proof that can stand on its own 2 feet? If your evidence relies on tribal knowledge, the stuff that only lives in a few people's heads, or your personal charm, you haven't finished layer 2, period. And finally, we get to the most painful and, frankly, the most expensive symptom of a sequencing error. Your first big-ticket VP of sales hire crashes and burns. This story is incredibly common. And you know what? It is rarely that person's fault. The numbers here are brutal. Something like 70% of first-time VPs of sales are gone within 18 months. Why? Because they were hired to scale a machine, but the machine hadn't actually been invented yet. You asked them to build a factory before you even had the blueprints for the product. It's an impossible task. This brings us right to the playbook trap. You see, every popular, powerful sales methodology out there, every single one, comes with a hidden assumption. They all take for granted that you've already done the hard, upstream work of layers 1 and 2. I mean, just look at this. You want to use the challenger sale? Great, but it assumes you have a truly unique, validated insight to teach your customers. You want to use medic? Fantastic, but it assumes you already have quantifiable metrics and know the buyer inside and out. Sandler? Same story. It assumes you already know the buyer's pain and have a validated business case. They are all layer 3 tools, and they are basically useless without a solid layer 1 and 2 foundation. The great positioning expert, April Dunford, just nails it with this quote. All these complex systems, they just assume a pitch exists. They help you organize the discovery and execution, but they don't do the foundational discovery work for you. So here's the big reframe for you and your leadership team. This isn't about being bad at sales. It's not about effort. It's not about talent. It's about focus and sequence. You are simply trying to solve a layer 3 problem when the real fire is burning back in layer 1 or layer 2. So how do you know when you're finally ready to pour gas on that fire? When is it time to really invest in that commercial engine? Well, here are the green lights you're looking for. You've got at least a handful of customers, say 3 to 5, who all bought for the exact same core reason. Your proof, your evidence, is so well documented that anyone on your team can present it convincingly. And here's the ultimate acid test. A brand new prospect can explain your value back to you in their own words. When that happens, you're ready. Okay, to wrap this all up and give you a clear path forward, let's leave you with 3 incredibly sharp diagnostic questions. Take these back to your team this week and figure out exactly where you are in this sequence. First question. This is the ultimate stress test for layer 2. It cuts right to the chase. Does your success depend on individual heroics or on a system? If the answer is no, it means your knowledge isn't transferable yet, and you are not ready to scale. Number 2. This one is simple, but so revealing. It instantly tells you if you're truly market-focused or just navel-gazing. Your sales process is about what you do. Your customer's buying process is about what they do. Knowing the difference and knowing their process intimately is a layer 1 superpower. And number 3, this forces a much smarter analysis of your losses. Stop accepting, "we lost on price." That's lazy. Instead, ask the hard questions. Was our value proposition actually unclear? That's a layer 1 failure. Was our proof just not convincing enough? That's a layer 2 failure. Or, did we just fumble the execution? That's layer 3. This is how you get to the real root cause. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Fix your foundation first. A world-class sales playbook can't save a flawed strategy. It will only help you fail faster, with more spreadsheets. So the real question for your next leadership meeting isn't how do we sell better? It's have we actually done the hard work that makes selling possible in the first place?